up, everybody? So here lately, I've been kind of getting into shooting sports, and I was lucky enough that I contacted a local college, West Texas A&M University down in Canyon, Texas. It's just down the road, probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes away. I decided I wanted to try shooting basketball with my Fuji. You know, the XH2S, the XH2, mostly the XH2S, of course, because that's the sports, oriented camera. All I did, and this is something for any of you out there who just want to shoot sports. You want to get into it, you want to practice, just play around with it. Hey, contact your local schools. If you have a local college, a small college, this is a Division II college. So it's not super small, but it's not big either. It's not like the actual Texas A&M where it's gigantic, where they're going to have photographers everywhere, filling the floor on pretty much every sporting event. So I'm lucky enough to where West Texas A&M, they allowed me to come in, and I've shot a couple of games. Usually they have the women's game first, and they have the men's game. And the first time I went, I shot the last part of the women's game and then ended up staying for the whole men's game. I wasn't going to stay for the whole game, but I was just trying to dial my camera in, trying to figure out what lenses I wanted to use. Of course, I have the 50-140, which is, Fuji's equivalent of a 70-200 on a full frame. It's a great lens. It's fast focusing. I still don't think it's resolving 40 megapixels on the XH2, but it is what it is. I don't think it's the sharpest in the world when it comes to shooting fast-moving subjects either. I think it's not that great of a lens. It's an old lens. You guys got to understand that lens is over 6 years old. It might even be older than that. It might be like 7. I mean, it's just a very, very old lens. And I don't know why Fuji never updated it. It doesn't make any sense. It's a great lens, don't get me wrong. Fuji's figured out a way to make this thing work for all these years. Whereas Canon, Nikon, Sony have all come out with who knows how many versions of DSLR lenses plus mirrorless lenses. Sony's up to 2 mirrorless 70-200s. Nikon's just got the one because the Z mount just came out, 2018. But Canon's got several versions as well. So, it's kind of one of them things where I don't understand the whole lens situation with Fuji. But anyway, let me get into this before I start rambling too much, and because that's what I do. So here's this photo I took, extremely low light. And if you saw one of the last videos, I've been talking about shooting in JPEG versus shooting in RAW, especially when you're in low light situations, and how it's beneficial to use in-camera noise reduction instead of exporting a RAW file and trying to clean it up in post. There are a million AI programs out there now, denoise AI, all the different AIs. I don't know the names of all of them. You've got now Luminar Neo has their own built-in little plug-in type situation, or extra, whatever it is. And On One has their own no noise, I think is what it's called. Lightroom's never been really known for its noise reduction. It's okay, but it really softens the image. That's the problem with noise reduction. You're going to have a soft image. The more noise reduction you apply, the softer the image is going to get. It's taking detail out of your photo, just plain and simple. So it's important to try to have your, you have to have the right lenses, the right camera, the right lenses, as best you can, as much as you can afford. That's why you see these guys shooting with these expensive lenses, because that's what they're made to do. They're made to shoot in low light. Full frame, you're going to have a lot easier time shooting at 2.8 or 1.8, or even 1.4 on some of the other lenses they have. I did okay. This one was shot here actually with the XH2 and this 50-140 because I was on the other side of the court. These were after introductions. I was trying to get some introduction shots, and I failed on the men's. I got some decent women's introductions, but the men's I failed. Mostly because the cheerleaders were in the way. But I'm not going to blame them. Cheerleaders are cute, and, it is what it is. But so here we have this image. This is straight out of camera JPEG. There are some, the problem with noise reduction, I'm still playing around with it. The problem with this is I forgot that I also had sharpening enabled in the XH2. So I should have had that 0 sharpened or maybe even -1, and then I think I had noise reduction on +3. So there is a little bit of artifacting that you're going to see, especially around letters and stuff like that. Now, I think this guy here was number 11 was the focus. Number 11, part of number 35 there. I think they were the kind of the subject because they're more in focus than these three guys right here. And you can see in their hair, some of their hair is kind of in focus, but then it's blurry in other spots. So it's not perfect. And you have to play with the settings. You have to keep shooting and you have to try different things to get that sweet spot where your JPEG's gonna come out looking, pretty nice. So what's the number on this? 5659. So I'm gonna take you over to the raw file. Let's go to the raw file. 5659. So there's 5659. Same image. You see that I cropped out the cheerleader on the other one, so we'll go ahead. Let's just do that now. We'll just crop her out. Crop her right on out. We got to make sure to leave the feet in and then get some of the crowd out, and you'll see why we're going to take some of the crowd out because it's just, I got to make sure his hand is in there. There's a hand right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. That's good. So now we're basically roughly the same. Let's zoom in. Look at all the noise. See all the noise? It's just horrible noise. Now, what are my settings? This is 10,000 ISO. You're probably thinking, well, that's a little extreme. 10,000 ISO on a APS-C camera. You're asking for miracles, Johnny. Well, yes and no. I mean, you could actually, this image would be passable just the way it sets. The reason being is it's one of those images. There's heavy light involved. Spotlight. The rest of the image really doesn't matter. Just the people as the spotlight is on. So that's going to help kind of control the noise on these players. And they're pretty sharp. I mean, if you notice, they look a lot sharper than they do. Not a lot, but they are a little bit sharper looking. The hair is more detailed on all of them than the JPEG image with noise reduction. Why? Because noise reduction is not added on this photo yet. We'll see what happens when we sharpening is enabled. So I'm going to take that out for now. And then we're going to add as you see, you start adding noise reduction. Yeah, it looks closer to the JPEG, but also you notice the hair is starting to get, his not as bad, but his hair is starting to get blurry, just plain blurry. And we can add some detail back and try to get some of that back. And it helped a little bit. It did help. But there's still more noise. And we're at 35 on the noise. So let's bump it up to 50. So we go up to 50. You can still see noise. You can still see more noise than the JPEG. But then, again, the hair, some of the hair, it's not as bad. So I guess it's okay. Now let's add sharpening in. What does sharpening do? We'll throw it on to the default 40, and then we'll bump masking up to 82. Throw a little detail, pull the radius back. And now, yeah, it's okay, but there's still some noise there. It's not that bad. So, and this would be easily presentable. Like this photo here would be perfectly fine. We're pixel peeping here. So which one do you think is going to be better? Now, let's take a long look, take a mental note of the numbers, the jerseys. Also, I need to tone down some of them highlights. That would probably help a little bit. So tone down the highlights a little bit, bump the contrast a little bit to make the crowd darker. So we kind of get our subject out there. And I think that's about it. That's really all we need to do. I don't know what clarity is going to do. Clarity just raises up. Let's not worry about that. We'll leave everything else alone. Now let's go back over to the JPEG. I probably should have just had these both in a file. 5659. Okay, that's the one. So let's go back and look. I guess the numbers, they look about the same. They look pretty much the same. There's a lot less noise. Again, remember, there's a lot less noise, but look at the blurry spots in the hair. So I think I could have reduced the noise down to 2+2, and it probably would have helped out a lot. I think one thing I've noticed is the XH2 and the XH2S, you cannot use the same settings, so to speak. I mean, there's some you can, but as far as the sharpening and actually adjusting your image straight out of camera, you really have to be careful. I didn't pull the highlights down in this. So yeah, I don't know. It's just still, you don't have as much leeway in a JPEG as you do. So that's another, I get it. Shoot raw, I get it. Okay. But we're talking sports here. If you're shooting landscapes, portraits, whatever, families, all that different thing, yeah, by all means, shoot in raw, because most likely you're going to have well-lit situations going. You're not going to be shooting portraits in the dark unless you're creepy, but, or it's like a stylized type shoot. But as far as just sports, something that, it's not as important, you just need clean images coming out fast. I think straight out of camera is going to work best with noise reduction already built in. It's not bad. From a distance, if you're viewing it like this, you're not going to notice the little blur spots in the hair. We're zoomed way in, and a JPEG starts to fall apart as you zoom in closer. So that's part of the thing. So a JPEG is just going to start falling apart. But I mean, it looks good. It's straight out of camera, and the noise level is actually lower in this image than the other one with 50% noise reduction applied, because you can still see the noise in that other photo in the raw. Here, you really can't see any noise at all. And we could actually, there's no sharpening involved in this either. Maybe I should throw some sharpening in. Let's do the same 40, and we'll do 85, throw some detail, pull the radius. That helped a little bit with the hair. There's still a blurry spot right there. And it definitely helped with his hair. And his hair is roughly about the same. But you can see the edges of his face. You can see it more detailed. And, really the sharpen. When you apply your masking on sharpening, it really sharpens the edges. That's really what you want. And you see, I think this is who I was focused. I was focused on these two guys right here, number 11, number 35, because his face is pretty sharp. And his is kind of sharp. You can tell it's a little over sharp, and he's got some artifacts right there. But for the most part, you're straight. If you're shooting sports, shoot straight. I would personally shoot JPEGs with high ISO noise reduction applied. You just need to play with the settings, and you need to get it right. Use every level until you achieve, and of course, it's going to change depending on the level. Because if we go to the game, so here's the game, and I'm using actually the Viltrox 23 1.4 version 2. There were two different versions. It's not a bad lens. It's okay. It's pretty sharp. I mean, this is sports. It focuses fast. I actually missed focus because I guess I'm kind of focused on him too. I guess because they're about on the same plane. So, but I mean, look at that. Eyes are glassy. I mean, it's a decent lens, but I was sitting on the floor, so I'm trying to get the looking up floor shot. What do they call this? The hero stance or the hero position. So it makes all the players look larger than life. These came out almost perfect. And you see here, I don't have any sharpening applied. I didn't even sharpen these. But this is with the XH2 as well. So this one already had +2 sharpening, and then it had the noise reduction. Now, I did add a little bit of noise reduction to get rid of the artifacts from the in-camera sharpening, because if I'd have had my sharpening down, I wouldn't have had those artifacts. But look how, it really is better than I thought it was. Look at that. Not bad. Viltrox 23 1.4. At 1.4, yes, 1.4, 1/1600th of a second, ISO 2000. That's the benefit of having that 1.4 lens. And of course, sitting on the floor, you're getting all the lights shining right in your lens. And it actually handled the glare pretty well. It's not bad. It's not terrible. So honestly, I'm kind of impressed with this lens. The only problem that I saw with this lens is you get some fringing, and I believe I had to reduce fringing. Actually, I didn't do the profile corrections at all yet on this. So now it recognized it right away. I judge it by this screen back here. That's actually a giant TV screen back there. I don't think maybe I didn't have to do it in this one, but I swear I had to adjust the fringing. I had to go into manual. Yeah, I did. See? 6. If I pull that down to 0, where did I see it? I think it was is it in his arm? Bro, right here. See this? Look at the purple on this guy's arm. It's just all the way down the arm and the back, down his back. So what I did was I just started raising that up till it disappeared and it's gone. But I had to do this on pretty much every photo taken with the 23. So that is a problem with the 23 1.4 from Viltrox. While it is sharp, see that? You can see it. It's sharp. It does have some fringing, especially in these contrasty type situation with lights, hitting at the wrong angle. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, and this was also, again, same settings as before, straight out of camera, +3 noise reduction, +2 sharpening. I could have dropped the sharpening down though, because it's almost too sharp. There's almost, although I didn't get any artifacts, but I did do noise reduction to get rid of those. Let me pull this back. You can see there's a few artifacts from the too much sharpening around his eyes and stuff. So I added a little noise reduction just to smooth that out, and now it looks fine. But, I could have done that in camera if I'd have just taken the sharpening out. But I didn't know how sharp these images are going to be. I'm still experimenting with this stuff. You guys understand, I'm still experimenting but I'm just showing you my results as they happen. Yeah, these are all XH2 shots. Here's another one that's pretty clear. I mean, which lenses? Yeah, same 23 1.4. It's a sharp lens. I would like it to be a little sharper, but I think this is just my technique. Because the ball, I think I hit the ball. To be honest, I think the ball's in focus, or his chest right here, because that West Texas and the number 4 looks really, really in focus. And his face is it's in focus. It's just not tack sharp on the face. It's tack sharp here. But that's my technique. I suck at photography, especially in the sports. I'm not, it's kind of like birding. I'm not all that great because I've never done it. And then here's another good shot, and it's not bad, mine is technique. This is only the second game I've shot with West Texas, so West Texas A&M. And I caught this one, look, it's pretty good. I mean, the lens, I can't complain. Now I can't complain about the lens. He was falling down, I believe. Yeah, here's the sequence. Because I decided to keep that one because just the way both legs are in there, it looks like he's running in midair. So I kept that one. And you can see the sequence as he's going up. And I figured that looked like a cool shot because he's falling down, the ball's going up. And I can't remember. I think he made the shot. I'm almost positive. Yeah, he hit it off the backboard. So he made the shot. Julius Brown, I believe is his name. West Texas A&M doing really good this year. So here's another one, pretty good, pretty decent, sharp for Viltrox. Hey, I can't complain. 23 1.4, of course, that's the 35 millimeter equivalent. I probably could have gone a little wider. I do have the 13 1.4. I think maybe, basketball season is about over. I don't know if I'll get a chance this year. But next year, if I shoot again next year, I'll definitely take that one. That one's pretty sharp. Again, I'm pretty sure he made that shot. And I'm just kind of bragging now a little bit. This one's a little blurry in the face. I didn't get hit directly in the face. And it didn't catch the ball either. I think I hit him in the chest too. That's the one thing is your technique. There's a reason why, there's pros out here that do this stuff and they're good at it, is because they worked at it. This is only my second game and it's not too bad, but I've got a lot to learn. And, even when, he's looking right at me. Hello, sir. How are you? He's looking at me, looking at you. All right. Another pretty good shot. It's in focus, it's okay. It's like the ball's almost in focus too. Pretty sure he made that shot. So, and I did miss a dunk. I was sitting back here and I was looking to see if the image was clear and I missed the dunk. So that just goes, don't chimp because you will miss something. And that's my fault. And of course, I missed his face. Even though this is a cool shot, it's a good shot. You always want to try to get the face in there from what I've heard. I guess it's kind of a pro thing, pro tip. And I'm, from pros is to make sure you get the face. And his face wasn't the greatest. It's usable for social media and stuff. And it's a cool shot, kind of a wide jump shot. This one's a little better. It was a little sharper. Actually, I think it hit his eye. So I think I lucked out. I'm using single point, by the way. I'm not using zone. I'm not using face tracking. I'm not using eye autofocus. I'm just using a box, biggest box, single point, and AFC. That's what I'm using. So if you're curious, what's the point of having eye autofocus and all that if it doesn't work? You know what I mean? If it doesn't work as well as it's supposed to, why even have it? We're back to shooting with single point autofocus. Same with DSLRs. DSLRs actually have an advantage in that. So whatever. That's it for me. I just want to show you guys some images from my basketball outing, my last one. And to show you that straight out, these are all, the ones I'm showing you here, these are all straight out of camera. Straight out of camera JPEGs. What was the settings? Yeah, still ISO 2000. I have higher ISO shots. ISO 4000, ISO 5000, 6400, mostly 3200 when I'm shooting with 1.4s, when I'm standing up, when I'm not sitting on the ground staring at the lights. Let's go back to the raw photo. Oops. Let's go back to the raw photos. Let's show you the same photos just to give you an idea. Yeah, ISO 2000. See the noise? Now, I could probably clean this noise up. It wouldn't be too bad. But I still don't think it's as sharp as the other photo. It's not bad. It's not bad. So you could probably use that. Obviously we got to bump the exposure because I'm an idiot. Bump the exposure, pull the highlights because he's wearing all white. That white just starts to glow. So now that we've raised it up, they didn't introduce more noise. So now we got to go back down here. Add some more noise reduction. It's just better to do this all in camera if you're shooting sports because now, face is starting to blur a little bit more. And you get to a point, you're over sharpening and, it's not bad. I just think the JPEG's better. I think the JPEG's better. That's just me, though. I already know I have to defringe. Oh, it already has it in there, so. Yeah, the JPEG I think is better. It's just, so for sports, I'll shoot RAW too. I'm shooting RAW plus JPEG. But I might get to a point once I get when I start nailing my JPEGs, I'm just going to shoot straight JPEG for sports. Because I don't know. I don't know. I'm just tired of gigantic RAW files. And this is the XH2, so the file sizes are bigger. That's it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. And there'll be more coming, hopefully, as I go along my photography journey, and drag you along with me. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Trolls, you can just stay away. I don't really care what you think. Nobody else does either. We're just trying to learn. We're all trying to learn this together. If you have some really good advice and something to follow, if you something to offer to the conversation, go ahead. But if you're just going to tear people down, and if you're just going to, say dumb stuff, go do it on somebody. Go watch Tony and Chelsea, and go watch Fro, and go watch all these other people who, these YouTubers that do this for YouTube and money and stuff. I'm just trying to find my way and just trying to learn. And I think that's where a majority of the community is. Just unfortunately, we got to deal with morons on a regular basis. So anyway, see you guys later. Bye.